And in California, a teenager charged with a double murder is free tonight. 19-year-old Justin Scott had told police all along that he did not do it, and surveillance video, which was about to be automatically erased, finally proved it. Justin Scott and his mom are with us tonight, along with their attorney, Juliette Robinson. Welcome to all of you, and thank you so much for being on Arise America.
Thank you.
Justin, I want to start with you. When the police came to arrest you for these murders, it was the murder of your ex-girlfriend and her grandmother and the attempted murder of her new boyfriend. Just wanted to make that clear. When they came to arrest you for these murders, what were your thoughts?
I couldn't believe it. It was just a shocking moment because they had no reason to arrest me.
And what did you tell them?
Why are you arresting me? And they didn't want to tell me why.
And did you, as they began to question you about these acts, I'm assuming that you told them where you were, you gave them your alibi. What was the reaction of law enforcement?
They did not believe me at all. Like, I told them what I did the whole day and that the places I went that day, and it should have film there, and I said we should go and check it out so I can tell you guys that what I'm telling you is real. And they did not believe me at all. They gave me no sympathy.
I can only imagine how horrifying this was for you, Netta, as a mother. Tell me about that night when they came to arrest Justin.
Oh, it was horrible. I don't think any parent should ever have to experience it. And it was in the daytime. It was at 11 o'clock. My son was just coming home from school. He came in the house. We were grieving over the fact that this whole incident had happened. My son was in denial, and I was showing him the news clips and even letting him know that I called the coroner's office to find it, and he was just crying and just in grief. And then next thing you know, SWAT team, lasers all at my head. They're dragging my son out the door. Lasers on my heart, and they just frisked me. They put him to the ground. It was horrible. I can't even explain it. I can't explain it.
It is unimaginable. I can't even imagine it. Juliette, let me bring you into this. I want to talk about these videos, but first let me ask you, how was Justin ever even identified as a suspect in the first place?
You know, I think it initially came about because Justin was an ex-boyfriend. And there was a rumor out here that an ex-boyfriend of this young lady had threatened to kill her. And I think that when law enforcement went to the parents of this young lady and they questioned the parents about who was any ex-boyfriends that they were aware of, they came up with Justin's name. I think that's how it all started and jumped off.
And how did you get involved in this case, Juliette?
I got involved in this case. The community called me to come involved in this case. I received a call at about 7:30 in the morning on, I believe, October 9th from Cherie Scott. Indicating that this young man, I had not heard the news, I wasn't familiarized with the case and with what had happened, and I was told about what happened and that they needed my services. And I showed up.
When you heard Justin's story, that he didn't do it and where he was, I'm imagining that you did believe him because you took the case. Is it standard procedure for you to go and try to obtain the surveillance video at the locations of possible alibis?
Well, standard procedure is for me to do whatever I need to do to get the job done. And in this particular case, it required me going out to the location and getting the videos because of what my client said. He told me where he was at. And when I first saw him, I didn't have all that information. I just initially went to see him just to see what kind of guy he was and to look into his eyes to see if in fact he was a killer or not a killer. Those kind of things you can tell when you've been practicing for 25 years. And it was subsequent to that, my next visit, I'm speaking with his parents and himself, and he told me that he was at where he was at that day. And so we went to the locations, and my staff investigator, Cherie Scott, obtained those videos by herself.
And I understand one of these videos was just hours away from being automatically erased, so God was smiling on you in that regard. Juliette, I understand there was a bit of a lag of time between the time that you presented these videos to the DA and Justin actually being released. Why was there that lag of time? What took so long?
You know, and everyone keeps asking me that question, and the only one that can answer that question is the District Attorney's Office and the Inglewood Police Department. I turned over this video and gave them information about where the other videos were. The very next day, I obtained them on the 14th. I turned them over on the 15th. My client was not released until the 29th. And I had to write a subsequent letter in between there demanding the immediate release of my client.
Netta, can you describe how relieved you are that this has all turned out okay?
I am so relieved. Words can't express how I feel. I am totally relieved. And I mean, I just thank God. I thank Juliette. And I think the team that went out there and just made it all happen. I'm totally relieved that my son's back at home, because had I had the resources, my son would probably be facing death right now.
Justin, do you imagine that you will bring lawsuits against any of the entities involved in this, whether it's the city, the police department, or even media outlets that described you as the murderer?
I'm discussing that right now with my loved one.
You're discussing that. All right, let me see if I can get a few more words out of Juliette. Do you think he should?
Do I think that this young man, who they came to his home, took him, put him in custody, put him in a cage for 20 days when they had evidence, had they gone out initially and just verified whether he was there or whether he was not, this ordeal wouldn't have been put forth here. So I think it's reasonable to assume that a lawsuit is something that has to be on our minds. Has to be, absolutely.
Finally, now go ahead. What did you want to say, Juliette?
And the fact that the day we recovered these videos was a holiday on the 14th. And the videos were set to be erased within 3 hours after we recovered them. Had we not gone out there on a holiday, where would my client be today?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
the issue of lawsuit, the facts speak for themselves.
Justin, finally, I want to just ask you, what have you learned about yourself? What have you learned about the world around you through this ordeal?
Appreciation. You appreciate your friends and family, because those are the people that care about you the most, and not trying to get fame and everything out there, because that's just not right. You should just focus on the people that love you.
Understandable, understandable. Justin Scott, Netta Willams, Juliette, thank you both. Thank you all three for being on Arise America, and wish you all the best.
Thank you.
And you're watching Arise America.